Hello, my dear students. I hope you all are fine. So, today I have come with the rest of the part of the story, The Selfish Giant. I hope you are aware of the story which we have learned in the previous class. Okay, just for a recap, I'm just telling the first part briefly that in the previous class we learned that there was a beautiful garden of a giant where the children used to come to play after their school, but the giant came back after 7 long years in his own castle. He had gone to visit his friend Cornish Ogre, and after coming back, when he found the children playing in his garden, he was so angry that he put a high wall round his garden and declared that no one will play here except himself. And he put up a notice board. On which it was written, trespassers will be prosecuted. And due to that, children didn't dare to come inside the garden. And without the children, the spring season arrived in all over the country except that giant's garden. The spring didn't arrive there in neither the spring nor the autumn. Even the summer also rejected to come. So throughout the year it was the winter which was living or prevailing in the giant's garden, and with the snow, frost, north wind everywhere, it was so dull, gloomy and morose. No flower appeared there, no flower blossomed there, no birds used to sing there. So it was the very pathetic scene in the giant's garden. It was a very gloomy and morose scene. Okay, but suddenly the one day the giant heard a very beautiful song of a linnet bird, and a very beautiful perfume just he could smell, and he thought that spring has arrived at last in his garden. So he just jumped and he went to see what happened. So now here we are starting the rest of the story. Now, what did he see? He saw a most wonderful sight. Through a little hole in the wall, the children had crept in, and they were sitting in the branches of the trees. In every tree that he could see, there was a little child, and the trees were so glad to have the children back again that they had covered themselves with blossoms and were waving their arms gently above the children's heads. So it was a wonderful sight. Again, please be careful about the spelling. This is WONDER. Wonderful means here beautiful or amazing sight. Sight means view. Okay, this was a very beautiful sight or view. Through a little hole in the wall, the children had crept inside the garden. Okay, they had just entered inside the garden, and they were sitting in the branches of the trees, and in every tree he could see that there was a little child, and the trees were so glad means happy, to have the children back again, that they had covered themselves with blossoms or flowers. Okay, so the garden was so happy with the return of the children. The only thing was missing was the children. So with the return of the children, the garden just got its beauty back. The birds were flying, the flowers were blooming. It was a very beautiful and cheerful sight. It was a lovely scene. It was a lovely scene. Only in one corner it was still winter. Now, what was the reason? It was the farthest corner of the garden, and in it was standing a little boy. He was so small that he could not reach up to the branches of the tree, and he was wandering all round it, crying bitterly. The poor tree was still quite covered with frost and snow, and the north wind was blowing and roaring above it. "Climb up, little boy," said the tree, and it bent its branches down as low as it could, but the little boy was too tiny. So, in one corner, the farthest corner of the garden, it was still winter. The north wind was blowing, there was frost and snow covered on that tree, because a little child was small child. He was very small that he was not able to reach up to the branches of the tree, so he was wandering all round it. Wander means roaming about all round the tree, and he was crying. The tree was encouraging the little boy. Climb up, little boy, said the tree, and it bent down its branches so that the boy could climb up the tree. But the little boy was too tiny to climb up. So that's why that part of the garden, that corner of the garden, was still having winter. And the giant's heart melted as he looked out. How selfish I have been, he said. Now I know why the spring would not come here. I will put that poor little boy on the top of the tree, and then I will knock down the wall, and my garden shall be the children's playground forever and ever. He was really very sorry for what he had done. So now the selfish giant's heart melted. His heart becomes soft. He just realized what wrong he has done. Okay, so he understood his own mistake. So he said that how selfish I have been. Here he realized his own mistake. And he also realized why the spring didn't come to his garden, and he decided to break down the wall, and he declared that his garden will be the children's playground forever and ever. So he crept downstairs and opened the front door quite softly and went out into the garden. But when the children saw him, they were so frightened that they all ran away, and the garden became winter again. So when the giant entered into the garden, the children were very afraid to see him. So they were very frightened that they just ran away from the garden, and without the children, the garden once again became winter. Only the little boy did not run because his eyes were full of tears, so he did not see the giant coming. So, as he couldn't see the giant coming, he did not run. And the giant stole up behind him and took him gently in his hand and put him up into the tree. As now the giant's heart has melted, so he just slowly came behind the boy, and he took him, the boy, gently in his hand and put him up into the tree. And the tree broke at once into blossom. And when he put the little boy up into the tree, once again the tree broke out into blossom, and the birds came and sang there, and the little boy stretched out his two arms and flung them round the giant's neck and kissed him. He was very happy that he kissed the giant. It was the gesture of showing love. And the other children, when they saw that the giant was not wicked any longer, they just came running back, and with them again came the spring. So the giant declared, from now it is your garden, little children. And he took a great axe and knocked down the wall. He just broke down the wall. And when the people were going to market at 12 o'clock, they found the giant playing with the children in the most beautiful garden they had ever seen. So with the appearance of the children, with the presence of the children, the giant's garden became the most beautiful garden. And with them, the giant also transformed. He transformed from a selfish being to a kind-hearted being. All day long they played, and in the evening they came to the giant to bid him goodbye. But where is your little companion? He said. The boy I put into the tree, the giant loved him the best because he had kissed him. We don't know, answered the children. He has gone away. So after that day, the giant couldn't see that particular little boy. The giant could not see that particular little boy anymore. So he was very curious to meet that little boy once again, because he was the first child who showed him, who expressed gesture of love towards him. So he was very eager to meet the boy. "You must tell him to be sure and come here tomorrow," said the giant. But the children said that they did not know where he lived and had never seen him before, and the giant felt very sad. But the children did not know about that particular child, did not know anything about that particular child. So every afternoon when school was over, the children came and played with the giant, but the little boy whom the giant loved was never seen again. The giant was very kind to all the children, yet he longed for his first little friend and often spoke of him. "How I would like to see him," he used to say. So there were all the children. The giant used to love all the children. He used to play with them, but he longed for. Longed for means he missed that children. He wished to see him. He desired to meet that little, his first little friend. Years went over and the giant grew very old and feeble. Feeble means weak. The giant became old and feeble. He could not play about anymore, so he sat in a huge armchair and watched the children at their games and admired his garden. "I have many beautiful flowers," he said, "but the children are the most beautiful flowers of all." So we can very easily see the transformation of the giant. Once he had written on his notice board that trespassers will be prosecuted, and that notice was put up for the children only. And now he is saying that the children are the most beautiful flowers of all. So one winter morning he looked out of his window as he was dressing. He did not hate the winter now, for he knew that it was merely the spring asleep and that the flowers were resting. So initially he used to hate winter, but now he didn't hate winter because he knew that it was merely the spring asleep, that the spring is sleeping now and the flowers are resting now, and just after some days the spring will be here and the flowers will bloom. Suddenly he rubbed his eyes in wonder and looked and looked. It certainly was a marvelous sight. Marvelous means beautiful scenery. In the farthest corner of the garden was a tree quite covered with lovely white blossoms. Its branches were all golden and silver fruit hung down from them. And underneath it stood the little boy he had loved. So suddenly he saw a very beautiful sight that in that farthest corner of the garden the trees were covered with lovely white blossoms, and the tree was appearing very beautiful with golden branches and silver fruit, and the little boy was standing underneath the tree. Downstairs ran the giant in great joy and out into the garden. He hastened across the grass and came near to the child, and when he came quite close his face grew red with anger, and he said, "Who hath dared to wound thee?" For on the palms of the child's hands were the prints of 2 nails, and the prints of 2 nails were on the little feet. So the giant was very eager to meet that little particular child, his first little friend. So when after so long he he saw the child, he was so overwhelmed with joy that he ran into the garden to meet the child. He hastened means came quickly, ran across the grass and came near to the child. But when he came closer, he was red with anger. Why? Because he found that there were marks of wound, there were signs of wound. So he shouted, "Who hath means here had, who had dared to wound thee?" Thee means you. These are the old English. Hath, H-A-T-H, hath means had and T-H-E-E, thee means actually you. These are the old English. So he just asked, "Who had dared to wound you?" For on the palms of the child's hands were the prints of 2 nails, and the prints of 2 nails were on the little feet. Now, from this description, can you guess who the child was actually? I hope you are guessing right that this little child was none other than the Jesus Christ. If you see the picture of Jesus Christ, or if you see the statue of Jesus Christ, if you see that there Jesus Christ was crucified. Jesus Christ was actually crucified. So there are the signs of marks of wound, okay, in the palms of Jesus Christ and in the feet. Okay, so this little child was none other than the Lord, the Jesus Christ. Who had dared to wound thee? Cried the giant. Tell me that I may take my big sword and slay him. So who had dared to wound you? Just tell me, and I may, so that I may take my big sword and slay him. Slay him means I may kill with my sword. Nay, answered the child, but these are the wounds of love. Then the child replied, no. Nay means no, no, don't do that. Don't talk of killing. These are the wounds of love. Who art thou? Said the giant, and a strange awe fell on him, and he knelt before the little child. Who art thou means who are you? Thou means here you. Thee means you. Here thou means you. Who are you? Asked the giant, and a strange awe fell on him. Awe means respect. Awe means respect. So he was full of respect because he understood that this little child was not an ordinary child. So he was full of respect and he asked, who are you? And he knelt before the little child. He bent down before the little child. And the child smiled on the giant and said to him, you let me play once in your garden. Today you shall come with me to my garden, which is paradise. So the Lord Almighty, the Jesus Christ, just told the selfish giant, that once you allowed me to play in your garden, and today I have come here to take you to my own garden, which is paradise, or paradise means the garden of heaven. Paradise is the garden of heaven. So, and when the children ran in that afternoon, they found the giant lying dead under the tree, all covered with white blossoms. So, the giant was dead, and the children found the giant lying dead under the tree, all covered with white blossoms. That means that little child was none other than the Lord Jesus Christ, who just made the giant and made him realize his own fault and mistake. And when the giant lived his life, he just came back to take the giant with him, and he told that once you have allowed me to play in your garden, so now today I am going to take you to my own garden, which is paradise, the garden of heaven. So this is a very beautiful story, and from this story we can understand a lot of things, that if we are brewing selfishness, then we should just check it, we should just end it, because we should love everyone, we should live for others, we should love everyone and live for others. This is the meaning of life. Okay, I hope you have understood, you have enjoyed the story. If you have any doubt, like I always say, you can clear it from me. Okay, so thank you for today.